Welcome to our Speaker Spotlight conversation. I'm Brandon Taylor for ITPro Today. Our upcoming live virtual event titled Strategies for Maximizing IT Automation, presented by ITPro Today and Information Week, is launching on Thursday, March 28th. That gives you all just over 1 week to register for this free broadcast. I'll be connecting with a very special guest today, Eve Logunova-Parker, the founder and CEO at Evenness. Eve is a visionary Web3 consultant and impact entrepreneur, as well as a renowned innovation-focused professional. In 2020, she founded her company, Evenness, which is a fast-scaling startup specializing in sustainable and accessible AI, Web3, and metaverse solutions. Eve will be our featured keynote speaker, presenting our opening session titled A Winning Approach to IT Automation in the Enterprise. And this session begins at 11 a.m. Eastern. And so the Spotlight is a space where I like to allow our featured keynote speakers to introduce themselves and give us a small preview of what we can expect from their presentations. So again, welcome, Eve. Thank you for joining me today. Will you walk us through your career and just explain how you broke into the tech industry?
Sure. Hello, Brandon. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Right, where do I start? I think I started 15 years ago. Before transitioning into consulting and founding Evenness, I spent a decade working with innovation labs, various large and small enterprises, helping them to go to market, to launch their products and solutions, but also to look at their innovation workflows and ensure that they are seamless and the development is productive in terms of like being efficient.
Right.
So my career path, well, actually, I was engaged with pretty cool technology, from payment screens for autonomous driving cars to robotics for hospitality and travel industry, a bit of cybersecurity, a lot of AI, like anti-fraud, money laundering, productivity, collaboration, and so on and so forth. But then in 2018, I realized that there is a strong need to embrace inclusion, accessibility, and sustainability in the world of technology. And I kind of started combining IT automation, agility, go-to-market, together with research in the field of accessible tech design. And 2020, I founded Evenness, and we're on the mission to make the digital domain more accessible and sustainable by design and architecture of our client solutions.
And at Evenness, your primary focus is accessible and sustainable design, which you've mentioned, but this process is powered by generative AI and dynamic data. So will you just elaborate on that approach and why it has worked so well for your company?
Right, I'll start with the big numbers. So there are 1.3 billion people who have diverse health profiles, whether it's physical, mental, well, you can say challenges, but I call them superpowers. People are different. And so technology should be also be accommodating to their needs, the way they see content, the way they want to experience, the way they interact with digital assets. This is still untouched in a way, because only 3% of websites, web apps are tailored to accessibility standards. The rest are very much neglecting those diverse health profiles. So this comes, accessibility comes as a huge demand from the impact-driven perspective, being able to provide opportunities for people to live their lives fully. At the same time, it is a strong concern by businesses because users now have the right and the power to take companies to court. So this year in the United States, litigation cases are to increase by 300%. And next year, when Europe launches European Accessibility Act, this is like a big thing, like GDPR, every company operating in Europe offering online services and e-commerce marketplaces, kiosks, e-readers, name them, everything digitally offered, services, products, you have to comply. And if you don't do that, well, expect millions and millions in fines and not being able to operate in Europe. So when we look at accessibility, how it can also impact product-led go-to-market strategy and the IT automation in a sense, I believe the key pillars would be user-centric design, so prioritizing user experience and the various health profiles. If a person have challenges with focusing on content, excuse me, that needs to be cut. If a person has challenges with focusing on content, why don't we highlight the keywords? So they are in bold, visible, or there's a focus tracker. If it's deafness or blindness or partial loss of vision, why don't we have a feature for zooming on content or guiding people through the space with voice or with some kind of guidance? That comes through iterative development of technology, where you not only understand the customer needs, but you apply tech that is built in equitable way. So architecture is equitable and also sustainable in order to make sure that you reach your audience. It needs to be lightweight. So it contributes to the mitigation of climate change. You're doing great for the planet, energy efficient, CO2 emissions optimized. But at the same time, you're making it accessible across platforms and devices for your user groups who are not necessarily in larger cities with strong Wi-Fi connection or internet connection. Then data-driven decision-making. Data is key. Like, you can assume, but that's not your way forward. You should always rely on facts, monitoring, tracking, seeing the performance, the behavioral patterns, and everything measured in data. Scalable infrastructure comes here as well, very important, because you are building to grow, you're not building to stagnate and lose your market and interest from your audience. And then for the general things, it's always important to have alignment. So effective communication, cross-functional team collaboration come here, culture of open innovation, continuous learning, and obviously through that feedback loops and continuous optimization of technology. That increases the level of equitable architecture and sustainable accessible design, and also streamlined processes, cost optimization, and so on. So I would say it's all interlinked, intertwined, and needs to be considered when any organization wants to succeed in this digital future, present.
And so go-to-market strategy has obviously been one of your specialties in your career interacting with the tech industry. And so, like you mentioned, accessibility can positively impact product-led go-to-market strategies. But what are some other concepts that can make this process efficient?
Well, true. I specialized in data-driven, agile, and creative product go-to-market across continents. I've been working with APAC, MENA, NORTHAM, LATAM, EMEA. As for the strategies, so the starting point is very important. How do you not only envision your architecture and design of it, but how do you align with business priorities? Because if business and tech are not aligned, it's like pulling the blanket to the right, to the left at the same time, and you cannot really succeed, I would say, in streamline and enable streamlined processes. So the key thing is to start with alignments of the goals, KPIs, metrics that is understood by cross-functional teams. Even HR should participate in this because they are to communicate, to recruit, to teach the staff. Then you go into how do you ensure that you have the culture that enables people to learn, but also to execute upon those learnings. So how do you make sure that communication, one thing, you receive that newsletter, that update, but how do you make sure that your stakeholders are engaged? And this is the process that is 24/7, that needs to be designed in a way that every touch point is known. And then for decision making, the strategy of efficient go-to-market product launches or announcement of new developments, it comes with building to scale, right? And hopefully it's a green economy at scale that you, again, build sustainably and in accessible way. But how do you move forward without bottlenecks? So visionary approach is highly important because you need to envision what it is you're building, what your market is, how it may change, what are potential bottlenecks, and how do you enable that continuous optimization process, improvements, feedbacks, through improvements and feedbacks, that you can reach your goals faster than later. Competition is fierce. Look, everyone is engineers of AI automating, like, let's do this, let's do that. But many are just jumping to secure investments or just be among the first to do so without thinking through, researching. This is important to know what you're doing. So take time to research it, but not too much time, because otherwise it's going nowhere.
Right. Speaking of AI, why did you join the Transatlantic AI Exchange, and why is it important?
Right. The Transatlantic AI Exchange is truly a gem in my point of view. So it brings to mind actually a quote from Sam Burns. I don't know if you know about Sam Burns, an American activist who lived with progeria. That's incredibly rare and fatal condition where people experiencing rapid aging. Pretty much Benjamin Button movie, but the opposite way around. So he once said that surround yourself with people you want to be around. In my way of saying that same phrase, I would say surround yourself with people you want to be around, but also you want to be like. And this is what Transatlantic AI Exchange is. It is not a community of talkers who get together to discuss. It's actually a community of doers, right? They do discuss, but then they put an action, everything into action. And they are researchers, government officials, business leaders, representatives of various organizations. It inspires me a lot. And I would say with Transatlantic AI Exchange connecting Europe with America, their mission is to facilitate that alignment of people and businesses, fostering the development of AI across continent in a collaborative, safe, secure, reliable, innovative, and ethical way. And their founder, Thomas Neubert, is doing a tremendous job. So if anyone has a question about Transatlantic AI Exchange, you can reach out to me, but I would recommend reaching out to Thomas, who is very inspiring as well. And that's why I joined. It's really beneficial for any business to be there.
Definitely. And they always say that steel sharpens steel. So when you're in an environment with very talented tech professionals, it can only raise your game. How did it feel to be named one of the top 100 Web3 women of the future?
Well, flattered and honored.
Right.
That's the short answer. But being recognized as both a visionary and innovator in the Web3 domain, excuse me, for my work and on fostering inclusion, accessibility, and sustainability, as well as digital trust, is a dream come true, and confirming that my teams and my efforts creating positive value and bringing value to both people and businesses, that's something that I just, again, being flattered, honored, and it sets me even more on my mission to do more.
Yes, it's always great to be affirmed and also be rewarded, when you're making strides and doing all of the great things that you are doing for technology, especially as it pertains to women in technology and also obviously equality in technology. And so earlier in your career, you held the role of Global Chief Commercial Officer for Women in AI. How are you using your voice to advocate for the next generation of women in technology?
We are still mostly male in terms of technology, the technology domain. And speaking of diversity, equity, accessibility, you need to make sure that tech teams are diverse And it comes with specific genders, but also fluid genders. Various identities should be on the teams. And I believe women can do great things in terms of technology. I've seen amazing solutions being developed by female programmers, innovators, scientists. So my engagement with women in AI, I'm still a member of Women in AI. I'm not taking the board seat at this moment because of Evenness and consulting jobs, but I'm there actively involved because everyone can contribute. Even if you're a male, you can be an ally to women, because then you can grow your teams with amazing women on on board. And this is not a fight. Yes, you can call it a fight from female side, that we're still fighting for our rights to be included. But I think it's more of a movement where people having the awareness that we need to move along together and build together in order to save the planet, empower future generations, and make every moment count in a positive way. So that's why I was with Women in AI, to have more diversity and inclusion in the AI domain.
Very well said. And so, in your opinion, Eve, what is one use case today for generative AI that isn't highlighted enough in the media?
Accessible and sustainable design of digital experiences and virtual interactions. Look, if you go into if you look at Web3 websites, well, first we start with the website. Crazy colors, not matching even healthy profiles of, like, how can you combine those colors? I cannot really understand what's going on here.
Right.
No spaces, no structure, no navigation. Keyboard navigation is key because people with arthritis cannot use mouse. They have to use navigation. But if we translate it into actual Web3 with VR headset, same principle there. How can I use that navigation in a simple way? How, do I have options for navigating through the gamified experiences or learning experiences in VR, in virtual reality? Not really. So all these features and the functionalities still need to be developed and designed and be adherent to ADA, WCAG, upcoming European Accessibility Act standards.
And Eve, I want to thank you for your time today, and we look forward to watching your keynote presentation on Thursday, March 28th, again, beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern, titled A Winning Approach to IT Automation in the Enterprise. This keynote session will be a part of our upcoming live virtual event presented by ITPro Today InformationWeek, detailing strategies for maximizing IT automation. Again, our overall broadcast will begin with Eve launching at 11 a.m. Eastern. So make sure to register for our live webinar at the link within the description box below this video so you don't miss this wonderful event that we have planned for our audience. My name is Brandon Taylor for ITPro Today, and this has been our Speaker Spotlight with Eve Logunova-Parker. Eve, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day.